Hello there. Today I'm taking a look at what I hope is going to be an absolutely classic wine from South Australia's Barossa Valley. This is Glaetzer Wines Anaperenna. It's a Shiraz Cabernet Sauvignon blend from the 2017 vintage. The Glaetzers as a family, I guess, can be seen as quite a dynasty almost in South Australia's winemaking. Brothers Colin and John were both very successful. So Colin set up Glaetzer Wines in 1995, but at the same time his brother John was highly regarded, highly successful winemaker for Wolf Blass at the same time. So there's clearly a family genetic predisposition to production of high quality wines. Today these wines are made by Colin's son Ben, who also makes some other brands on his own account, but this is I suppose the top quality level of their approach. These are wines made from the Ebenezer district of the Barossa, which is quite a particular area in terms of it has this sort of sandy clay loam soil with an underlying limestone pan. So the nature of the soil forces the roots deep down, and it's also an area which has lots of fantastic old vines which the Glaetzers have been able to contract to buy the fruit from. So I mean, some of their younger vines are 50 years old. They have vineyard sources that are 110 years old. So these are low yielding old vines. They're unirrigated. They'd be planted as bush vines mostly, and these will be wines that are on their own roots, because this part of South Australia doesn't and has not yet had, hopefully won't have, phylloxera. So, you know, this is a very natural winemaking process from these very old and fantastic old vines. The brand itself, Anaperenna, I guess we should probably say a lot of Glaetzer's wine success came first because they were recognised by the American critic Robert Parker, scoring some of their wines, particularly Amon-Ra, their top Shiraz, very highly. I mean, this particular wine got this vintage of this wine got a 97 points from the Wine Advocate, from Robert Parker's magazine. So they've been helped in their move to success by these good ratings. Anaperenna was originally a wine that was branded about 10 years ago as Goldolphin. The trouble was that that was a name that was also the name of the racing stable owned by Mohammed bin Rashid Al Maktoum, the now ruler of Dubai, and it appears that the Sheikh decided that he would prefer that name for himself, and so after a little bit of legal toing and froing, I think quite a generous offer was made to the Glaetzers, and they changed the name of their wine. So that's why, if you remember Goldolphin from the past, it's not a wine you'll see these days. It's now Anaperenna. The wine itself, the fruit be hand-picked, goes into small open-topped fermenters, so it can be, the fruit can be quite gently pushed back down into the fermenting juice and must. There's quite a generous use of oak. This wine ages for 16 months in 100% new oak. 92% of that is French oak, and the balance, the other 8%, is American oak. But these are slightly larger barrels. They're aged in hogsheads. And the wine is bottled unfiltered. The other thing to say, the blend here, 84% Shiraz and 16% Cabernet Sauvignon. So the majority of this is rich Shiraz, but the Cabernet will hopefully be giving it a sort of a freshness and a lift, a little bit more structure, and probably a little bit more sort of maybe some leafy, crunchy touches. But let's have a look, shall we? First thing to say, I mean, this is a 2017 wine. It's probably been at the retailers for a little while, but there's no diminution of colour there, really. It's holding its colour really quite well to the rim. The rim is quite a strong ruby red, The centre is really inky, and I would say that was an opaque wine. As I swirl it, yes, you're instantly getting tears forming on the glass. I'm not surprised by that because it's 15% alcohol, and I'm expecting it to have quite a bit of tannin, so there should be good body there. Let's have a look at the aroma, shall we? To begin with, there's a really classic note of eucalyptus, and there is the suggestion that sometimes the eucalyptus growing nearby puts a dust onto the fruit, and that can give these aromas to these wines. But behind it, there's a lovely richness and ripeness. There's a deep, dark, red to black plum, prune note. There's a richness and a juiciness that makes me think of ripe mulberries. And there's some little hints of spice and peppery spice, cedary spice. So let's have a taste. Wow, that's big, it's rich, it's all enveloping fruit. It's plentiful, supple tannins, quite sort of chocolatey, velvety, both in chocolatey flavour and texture, velvety texture, and a lovely juiciness. I'm not saying it's a wine with high acidity, but there's enough acidity to give the fruit freshness and to keep sort of a lovely juicy raspberry, red mulberry fruit going throughout the wine. That alcohol at 15%, I was expecting was going to be much more dominant than it is. It's actually all nicely pulled in with this sort of really quite big, expressive fruit there. Yes, you've got all that sort of juiciness, and like I say, notes of raspberry, I'd say mulberry, but raspberry, loganberry, those sort of notes, where you'll get that sort of slightly woody pip in there as well, and you're getting that little sort of tiny bit of cedary grip. It's I mean, all in there with a lovely suppleness, so it's not astringent, but you do notice that sort of cedary note. It's not a particularly peppery note to the Shiraz, to my mind. Although perhaps there is a little bit of spice towards the end there, and maybe that's where the alcohol is just showing through and just picking up that sort of spiciness there. The flavours are lasting beautifully. There's a lovely weight to the wine in the mouth, and there's such lovely freshness as well. I mean, this is a wine that's about 5 years old, so it's by no means starting to dull whatsoever. I suspect that would quite happily continue aging for another 5 years or so if you wanted to leave it, possibly longer. But actually, the wine is very accessible now, so you wouldn't really need to age it any further, but that's absolutely delicious. So that's Glaetzer Wines, Anaperenna, 2017 from the Barossa Valley. It's a Shiraz and Cabernet Sauvignon. So yes, thank you for watching. I hope you found the video of interest. Do please sign up and follow our channel. Do leave your comments below. We'd love to hear what you have to say about the wines, but most importantly, do please try and join us again sometime soon. Thanks very much. Bye now.